Hello everyone, welcome to Weekend Girl channel. It's chilly, it's windy, it's weekend and a completely new city. Today we're in Kostroma, so if you are ready to start with me, let's go! Despite being the part of the Golden Ring route, Kostroma is quite a provincial city, I'd say. You can meet both stone buildings and wooden ones, and although it is rumored to have been founded by the founder of Moscow, Yuri Dolgoruki, nothing is similar between those two cities. However, what Kostroma is really famous for is its monasteries and churches, and we are about to see them all today. If you think that you've seen me at my most fashionable, today you're gonna see it all. And no, I'm not a weirdo, it's just in Orthodox Church you should wear a scarf and a skirt. We are at the Hippati Monastery, or Hippatif Monastery, or Hippati, whatever. The monastery was built in 1330s by the ancestor of sadly well-known Boris Godunov, one of the last ties before the Romanov dynasty came into power. What is this place known for? Well, first of all, it has always been known as a center of science and culture, as most of the monasteries used to be in medieval Russia. Then it became known primarily in 14th, 15th century as a place for hosting noble prisoners. Later, during the time of troubles, the whole complex served as a defense complex. But later, when the place was occupied by Falls Dmitry II and his clique in 1609, it has also been occupied by Polish intervents. There were numerous attempts to seize the place and to release it from invaders, but it succeeded only during the second uprising in 1612-1613. And since then the place remains, well, it was a bit reconstructed, and remodeled, but nothing particularly serious. So most of the architecture you can see around, it is all safe from 16th, 17th centuries. Reconstructed, some buildings were added, some were rebuilt totally, particularly during the times of Alexander II, as far as I remember. But of course, after the communists came into power, the monastery was disbanded, and it was primarily used as a historical place, as a simple museum. And only in 2000 something, the monastery was returned back to the church, despite many arguments and disagreements. It is an active monastery, so it is prohibited to film anything inside or to film the monks. So if you feel like you've seen someone, I didn't mean it, it just happened like that. Actually, a number of churches and monasteries per square mile is astounding for such a small city, but there is a particular church I'd love to show you, because not only is it one of the most beautiful here in this city, but it also has quite a peculiar story I'd love to share. The Resurrection Church of Lowlands you are about to see was built in the middle of 17th century, and not only is it one of the 2 or 3 churches which remained since the 17th century, the so-called golden century of Russian architecture, but also it carries a very interesting history. According to the legend, the church was built due to donations of one local merchant. Here it is, by the way. Yeah, said merchant was trading with England, And one day, instead of 10 barrels of dye, he received 10 barrels of gold. As you know, Russians are quite superstitious and religious people, and at that time the poor merchant thought that it was a devil's gift. So he decided to spend devil's money on a good case, and thus the church was built. And here it stands still. It was working till 1930s. Later it was used as a wartime warehouse for armament storage, but and of course it was not working. But in 1990s it was reconstructed, repainted, and brought into commission again. So it's working, acting. If you want to, you can go and enjoy it. All in all, Kostroma is a provincial city not far from Moscow, included in the Golden Ring Road, with its history, ups and downs, beautiful churches, museums, and interesting architecture, where you can spend half of a day or maybe even a full day just walking around, enjoying the views, navigating the river, observing the monasteries from bridges, and simply enjoying the taste of freedom with its mandatory Lenin and other sculptures, with mandatory local museums and small wooden houses and wooden frames. That's it, that's Kostroma. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you somewhere else very, very soon. Till later, bye bye.